So the perfect candidate for us, I think, is it's not really a thing. I think that the perfect candidate, I don't know, would exist in that would be like saying who's the best parent in the world. It's made up of our organisation is made up of weird and wonderful people. I think the biggest attribute that somebody could probably have is resilience, and I think that some people very young, you know, from 23, you can work in our organisation, show real signs of strong resilience, and then you know you get people that are in their 50s and 60s that come to our organisation who have had a life and they've had all of that life experience, and you know, they show resilience for different reasons. And I think for us as an organisation, the perfect candidate is a person who comes in and truly wants to learn, truly wants to grow, and really, really cares. And I know that sounds silly because obviously they would be applying for a job where they would technically be caring or educating. But I think some people miss caring for somebody is not just looking after them. It's actually holding a boundary. You know, you're going to have challenging episodes. You're going to have things happen where you're going to have to say no, and it's going to feel uncomfortable. And you know, you need to be able to work through those problems. You need to be resilient. You need to have a good level of intelligence to be able to. And I'm not talking about academic intelligence, because I would never be working here because I'm not an academic by any stretch of the imagination. I'm talking about emotional intelligence, the ability to reflect on what you might have done wrong in that situation, or even if you did nothing wrong, the ability to reflect and think, well, what could I have done better? You know, what could I have done better by that person? And generally, it's not the kids that will become a challenge to people. It will be the other adults in the room. We all have different opinions on life. We all have different standards. We all have different values. We all have different beliefs. When we come together to work with challenging young people, and young people who present with challenges, what can happen is that the people who haven't got this ability to reflect and they're not resilient, they can end up damaging the situation and making it worse by creating a culture within a team that really doesn't need to be there. There's no blame. It's a case of learning. And if you can't learn and you can't take on the challenge of improving yourself, but without proving, so you can never in life, if you constantly try and prove everything to people, I did this right, I did that right, that happened because I did this. If you're proving, you're never improving. And what we need to do is we're looking for candidates who can have that ability to reflect, review their own internal voice and go, do you know what, actually, I probably didn't do anything wrong there, but I could reflect on that little bit and think, well, I could have done this. Maybe I should have said that to that person. And understand that we all have different values and beliefs. You know, simple things. A child goes to bed at 10 o'clock every day, but somebody lets them stay up for 15 minutes. The next day, so they go to bed at 10:30 instead of 10 o'clock or 10:15. Not a big deal. Somebody might come in and say in the morning to do a handover, and it might be that there's a boundary being blurred there. And there could be an altercation between two adults around that, which causes friction. So people need to be reflective and understanding of all of these dynamics, and I think that takes a lot of emotional intelligence. So the best candidate for us would be somebody who is really, really honest with themselves.